So first thing I want to touch on was something that's been ongoing here in Trinidad for a while, which is a current commission of inquiry into an incident that happened at Paria. Well, my first article is related to that. Now, what is this commission of inquiry? So this inquiry stems out of an incident that happened on February 25th, 2022, where there were some divers who were working on a pipeline. An incident occurred. 5 persons were sucked into a pipeline and only one came out. So firstly, I want to say my condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones, and to the survivor, I pray for your health and strength to endure as the sole survivor of that incident. Now, the commission of inquiry is ongoing. Initially, there was supposed to be a expert panel investigation, but due to some issues that was cancelled, and then the government then decided to launch an official commission of inquiry, which started in the later part of 2022 to set things up. So in the process of setting things up, a website was actually set up for this incident, well, for the commission of inquiry. I'll try to put a link to it, but basically on this website it lists the core functions of the commission of inquiry, and it has a whole long list of different things that the inquiry needs to cover. But the very first thing that it states is that this commission of inquiry is to inquire into the circumstances which led to the tragic incidents which occurred on Friday, February 25th, 2022 at facilities owned by Paria Fuel Trading Company, Paria Limited, located on number 36 Sea Line Riser on berth number 6, Pointer Pier, which led to the deaths of 4 employees of LMCS Limited. So that is what I'm assuming that is what the main purpose of the inquiry is, because that is the first thing that it lists. And the specific thing that I want to cover from the inquiry that's ongoing was last week. As it was ongoing, one of the attorneys representing one of the parties connected to the inquiry made a statement. So to refer to that, I'm now going to read from a Trinidad and Tobago Guardian article. It was dated 11th of the 1st, 2023. The title of the article is SWWTU Attorney, Paria's Wrong Decision Cost Divers Their Lives. It's an article written by Kevon Femline from what I saw. Now, the first thing I want to say is I am not saying who's right or who's wrong. I'm just covering certain aspects of this article, so I just get that out there. As a commission of inquiry, the commission of inquiry will determine whatever it has to determine. I'm not determining that. I'm my own personal thoughts, but obviously I'm keep that to myself. So the article starts off by saying the attorney for the Seamen and Waterfront Workers Trade Union in the commission of inquiry into the Paria/LMCS tragedy, Nari Alfonso, has heaped blame on Land Marine Contracting Services LMCS for several oversights in their deadly operations last February. However, she told the commission that incorrect decisions by Paria Fuel Trading Company cost 4 LMC divers their lives. Now again, I'm not going into the specifics of that, What I was more, what stood out to me the most was something that she mentioned at the end, was something that was mentioned at the end of the article, which was this. Alfonso said, although TNT boasts mature oil and gas and shipping industries, authorities took no steps to regulate the diving sector, which supports the energy and marine industries. Therefore, the SWWTU calls for a regulatory framework giving authorities powers of oversight, enforcement, and prosecution. She said, our client's respectful recommendation is that regulatory framework is put in place for commercial diving operations in Trinidad and Tobago. It would include prescribing minimum certification for persons undertaking commercial diving work, audit and certification of schools providing instruction to such persons, inspection and audit of diving equipment. That is what stood out to me the most, and why. I didn't know that, according to this article and to what I've read, Trinidad and Tobago does not have any commercial diving regulations. And you know, it's correct. With such a mature industry here in Trinidad and Tobago, how come we don't have commercial diving regulations? So, just doing some basic online reading, I was able to determine that the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards does have out recreational diving standards, national regulations for recreational diving. This is the TTS 517 2014 recreational dive requirements for operational facilities. Now this covers recreational diving, but nothing covering commercial diving. So how come? Bearing in mind the incident that occurred. So I did a lot of reading online of various articles which were written locally on this issue, and I must say, from what I saw online, the Trinidad and Tobago Garden again did yeoman service in the sense that they covered a lot of perspectives of different people who are subject matter experts in this field, and everyone was saying the same thing: we need diving regulations. Now, in one of those articles, a same Trinidad and Tobago Guardian article, it's dated the 15th of March 2022. Divers want talks on safety codes. So it's March last year, almost a year ago. And in that article, they cover a lot of different things, but one of the things that stood out to me in that article was that apparently there's a draft code for commercial diving regulations in Trinidad and Tobago. Just a draft, but nothing has happened with it, I'm assuming, from since then to now, because I tried finding it and I couldn't. So if someone has information, you know, share it, because one of these things with these videos is that is also to help me to learn more about what's going on right now. But my assumption is that nothing has happened with that draft as yet, because in January 2023 we still have persons at the inquiry mentioning that we have no diving regulations here in Trinidad. So what is the draft? Well, it stated something like, the code has been drafted using the guidelines of the International Marine Contractors Association, IMCA 2007, the International Code of Practice for Offshore Diving and Canadian Standards Association, CSA, and the Occupational Safety Code for Diving Operations, Ontario, CSA, Under Section 4 of the Code, there are specifications about the diving contractor's duties, rules, and responsibilities. So hopefully I get my hands on this draft, because I definitely would want to read it to get more information about what's in it. But my hope is that this incident occurred in 2022, February 2022, coming up on a year ago, and we're in 2023, and persons are still clamoring and calling for commercial diving regulations in Trinidad and Tobago. My hope, what I would hope to see as a citizen, is that somebody, whether the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau has standards at a ministry level, energy ministry, I don't know who, somebody really takes up this challenge and runs with it to ensure that the 2023 does not finish and there are still no commercial diving regulations in Trinidad and Tobago, or at least we should be very close to having something official. That's just my thoughts on that. So next topic that I wanted to cover was something in my online reading that I happened to come across, was something regarding the Calypso gas field. So the Calypso gas field is managed by Woodside Energy. And for anyone who's saying Woodside Energy, who's Woodside Energy? Basically, BHP, the massive mining company based in Australia, their core business is mining, but they did have a petroleum business unit, and that side of BHP's business has been taken over by Woodside Energy. So globally, so everything BHP petroleum wise is now Woodside Energy. So even here in Trinidad, everything BHP is now Woodside Energy. For example, Angostura platform, the Ruby gas field, and including this Calypso gas field, which is said to be very significant. I think even some analysts say bigger than Ruby. Now this Calypso gas field, based on what I saw on Woodside Energy's website, they said that Calypso is a deepwater gas discovery in Trinidad and Tobago. The Calypso opportunity is located 217 kilometers off the coast of Trinidad and Tobago, deep, far offshore. It's close to existing LNG infrastructure and downstream petrochemical facilities. The Calypso appraisal drilling program, consisting of the Bongos 3, Bongos 3X, and Bongos 4 wells, concluded on 20th December 2021. All wells encountered hydrocarbons. So there is gas there. As I said, some analysts say that it's supposed to be significant, and we'll see how it develops. So in my online reading, I came across an article on a website called Energy Intelligence, and they were talking about different things, and one of the companies they focused on was Woodside Energy, and they would have said there's a section in it that says New Dawn for Sunrise. So Sunrise is one of the projects that Woodside is working on elsewhere in the world. Beyond Pluto 2, Woodside Energy has 3 main projects that can sustain LNG growth from 2027. The Calypso gas field offshore Trinidad and Tobago, and its long delayed Browse and Sunrise gas projects. Now these Sunrise and Browse gas projects are somewhere far east, somewhere near Australia, I think near East Timor or something. If I'm wrong, somebody could correct me. Right? The company is currently working on the development concept for Calypso, Woodside Energy, but it already looks like the most straightforward of the 3. So for 2027, so this is a while off, this is possibly one of Woodside Energy's most comfortable projects. Right? The company is currently working on the development concept for Calypso, but it already looks like Located 217 kilometers offshore, it can feed domestic gas market and petrochemical facilities in the Caribbean country, as well as unused capacity at the 15 million ton per year Atlantic LNG plant at Point Fortin, in which BP, Shell, and Trinidad and Tobago's National Gas Company (NGC) are the main shareholders. So a lot of people have said, a lot of analysts have said that Trinidad and Tobago has moved from being a oil-based economy to a gas-based economy. I've heard it said many times. And if that being the case, obviously we need gas to help sustain our economy, as I know we're trying to transition to other viable things as well. Well, forms of revenue. But we need the gas. So for 2027, thereabouts, sometime off from now, hopefully this project will be able to come online and we'll have the much needed gas for our country. So I just wanted to point out this particular thing because I'm always conscious of these sorts of developments. I think it's really good news. I hope it matures, it develops into what it needs to be for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago and obviously the persons at Woodside Energy. So I really hope that works out. So because I did an introduction today, I'm not covering too much articles. I have one more article to cover to try and keep this video short as possible. Last article I want to cover is a incident where last week Sunday a marine pilot passed away, well, died while in the performance of their duties. Information I have is from a online website called Marine Log, dated 13/1/23. UK pilot dies in Humber estuary incident. Another fatality has underscored the risks inherent in the pilotage profession. The UK Maritime Pilots Association, UK MPA, reports that Francisco Galia, a highly experienced UK maritime pilot, died while transferring from pilot transfer boat to a large ocean-going vessel. The incident occurred on January 8, last week Sunday, in the Humber estuary. The UK MPA says that its cause is yet unknown. Right? It will take some time to be fully understood. Right? The UK MAIB, Marine Investigation Branch, has now opened a full investigation and will report in due course. The article also goes on to state that as a pilot, Francesco Galia was also known for his passion for the maritime industry and his dedication to his job, says UK MPA. His loss is all the more devastating as we understand that he was shortly to retire after many years of service in the maritime industry, with the last 2 decades as a pilot. So, condolences to the family of this person that passed away, Francesco's family. And what I wanted to, kind of focus on a little bit in this incident was that on another site, I would have read that person was, now again, I don't know if it's true. We know that there's an investigation going on, and that will give the official circumstances surrounding this incident and the cause of the fatality and whatnot. But on that website, I would have read that the pilot was climbing, slipped, he fell and hit his head, and that would have caused the gentleman's unfortunate demise. Now, if that is true, if that is the case, we could ask ourselves, was the pilot wearing head protection? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. The incident will reveal that. But if it wasn't, why? Now, in any country that you go, as far as I know, the pilots organization is usually a very powerful organization. They run their ship, but PPE is also critical. So I have worked and met with several pilots over my time sailing, and even here in Trinidad, I know that I knew one particular pilot who used to wear a helmet, and he used to have, I think, was a black helmet with a whole bunch of stickers on it. I won't say the person's name. If you all know the person, maybe you could put the person's name in the comments or something, so I wouldn't say it. But this person, excellent guy, really great guy. He used to wear helmet. I'm talking about this years ago. So PPE is an important part of any job, and hopefully headwear for pilots, I don't know, becomes a standard part of their operation, because as we know, their job is very dangerous. And again, just my 2 cents, where not saying what should be done, but if it helps to save lives, maybe it should be considered. So that brings me to the end of this first video, January 2023. If you've watched the whole video to this point, thank you very much. If you like this video and you like the future videos, I hope that you can like, share, follow, subscribe, because I'll be posting these videos on several different platforms. And if you really like these videos and what I'm trying to do, I'll be posting links to certain places where you could provide further support, so that eventually this can grow into something more. As I said, this is something I've always wanted to do. I'm gonna stick with it. So again, thank you for watching this far. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I'll see you on the next video.